Hello and welcome back. This is Dr. Rosin, and we are going to go through the last step of our second tutorial, the calculation stage. We've completed our second model with the applied load. We did the calculation. We completed this model and we applied the load with its footing size, and we came to a calculation which was completed with the phase 1, which had a load advancement procedure failure. Now I just briefly showed you what is the result here, showed you how the result look like when the product comes down here. Now we are going to go through what this information here means for this failure. This load advancement procedure simple failure means that the total load that we specified on our footing of 350 has not been applied. The total load has not been totally applied, and the maximum load steps here as well is small. So if we increase it, it's still going to fail. We increase, it was 250, we increase to 500, and it give the exact failure of load advancement procedure. So in this case, when you get this kind of failure scenario, all you need to do is Plaxis recommend to turn off the arc length control panel. Now I'll show you how to resolve this one, and we see what we get. So what Plaxis says, now when you get this message, you need to turn off the arc length control panel. By doing so, what you're telling Plaxis is the problem will not allow any negative step size. So if there's any negative step size during the calculation, it's going to ignore it. In some cases, this could affect your result, but in other cases, it will just resolve the problem. Now, to be able to turn off the arc length control panel, you go under parameters. Here, we use standard setting to do our calculations. So I'm going to go under manual now, under the interactive procedure, click define. In some cases, I can just increase my desired minimum step or desired maximum, but what Plaxis asks us to turn off this arc length control. So right now it's activated. Let's turn it off as required by Plaxis and click OK. Mark our calculation phase 1 blue. So if you click on the red cross, it turns back to blue, which means it's ready for calculation. I will turn off as well the initial and just recalculate the whole phase. So let's recalculate it. And let's see if this works. Basically, what you want to see, if the soil collapsed, that is fine, because it just simply means that your soil has actually failed. So it's just a matter to inspect the output result and trying to see if the failure is what we're looking for. If this doesn't work, we can increase our minimum and maximum desired step values. It's taking a bit of a while because the maximum step is 500, so it's trying to reach the maximum, but in some cases it doesn't have to reach the maximum. We can just complete before. You can see the graph here looks different as previously. Previously when it didn't reach this far, when we did not have the arc length, when we had the arc length selected. So you should be able to work here. The soil might fail or something, but let's see. And also, when it takes a long time, it could also be selected if you select a 15 node element. So that 15 node element, one of the disadvantage is it can take a bit of a time to calculate during the calculation stage. So you see it has failed. So let's see why. Go down. You see not enough load steps. So now Our load steps is 500, so let's increase that to 1000, but this should be 1. So let's recalculate that. So in some, this is an introductory version. In some, the full version of Access, that default value sometimes is 1000. It's 1000 the default value, but in this introductory version, the maximum value default value is 250. So from 250 we increase to 500, and I've just increased to 1000 in case there's not enough steps. So all you need to just increase it. Do increase it by 250 or by, because you put 750, but we'll just put 1000. Just increase until the calculation complete. It's not kind of a range, but you just need to increase until you complete your calculation. You should complete any time now. Hopefully, 1000 steps should be enough to complete this calculation phase. This part takes a while. Well, the 15 node element is taking quite a long time to calculate, so but it gives you quite very accurate results because of why we keep using the 15 node element. You see how it's not calculated, so let's see. Still say not enough load steps. So well, what you're going to continue to just keep increasing that additional steps until it calculates, because there is just because there's not enough load step. So let's just go into view result, because I want to show you how to plot a graph and amend it until you get a result that you're looking for. So we want to look at the step 1. So this has not actually calculated properly, because technically this load should have moved the soil down, so you won't get as much result out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this Livy back to arc. I'm going to arc. I will increase that possibly to 10 minimum and that to 30. This is just kind of interval for the low step. And let's see how this work. I see the 1000. Possibly in your next video, go through graph plotting, provided this calculates. Yeah, because we cannot view any result with if the maximum load has not been reached. That means your calculation is not complete, so you were able to have any result to view. As you just view one now, the load actually was not applied to the sample, so there's nothing to view, there's nothing to plot. It's not going to give you no reasonable data. So I've kind of played around increasing the step, the interval between the steps, minimum and maximum. Hopefully this will resolve an issue here, but if not, I'm going to keep increasing the maximum step. Or what I'm going to try next, if this doesn't work, I'm going to leave the arc length selected, but I'm just going to increase the minimum maximum, because this will work. All that is going to do is just calculate the model with the load being applied. Then you can get your soil fail, which is fine. If your soil fail, could just mean that this problem fails with this 350 load being applied to it, which will give you reasonable values of data to plot as compared to this load maximum step not being reached. That means that the model has not been calculated, the load has not been applied, you're not going to obtain anything out of it. So we try with this. If it's still the maximum load step, then we're going to leave the arc length selected and just leave them, or just increase the maximum step and increase the step in range. So, like we just did, we're just going to just click the arc length selected and resolve issue. Because this is taking a bit of a while to do the calculation, and I want to go to show you how to plot graphs and how to manipulate the curves to obtain what you're looking for, to present it the way it's been presented. So okay, this is taking a bit too long, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this calculation now. And in our next video, we'll just go through another calculation to try and resolve this, because this has taken a bit too long to calculate the model.